So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances that prove that you are a true fragrance collector. Maybe you're someone who just wants to smell good, own a couple of scents, and just kind of call it that. That's perfectly fine. That's what most people do. And honestly, that's kind of the way to go because it saves you a ton of money. But I would say you're more of a collector when you start hunting out the next best thing, right? You could easily stop with a couple scents that get you a lot of compliments and make you smell good every day, right? That part is easy. That's the easiest way to do it. Anyone can do that. But once you start getting the urge to find that next thing that challenges you or excites you, and you start accumulating a lot of new stuff, at that point, you may want to consider yourself a collector. The bigger your collection gets, the more advanced your nose is going to get, and the more you're going to find your true taste, what you really personally enjoy. I think everyone kind of goes through different phases. You may start liking one type of scent and then end up liking another, that sort of thing. And in my opinion, if you have any of these 10 fragrances or a combination of them, you can really call yourself a true collector, because most people who aren't collecting scents and are just after compliments and smelling good probably aren't going to own these and will have no idea that those even exist. So if you have any of these, let me know down in the comments, and well, welcome to the family. You're down the rabbit hole just as much as I am. First up, Dolce & Gabbana The One Royal Night. So what makes this one interesting is that most people have Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Toilette and or Eau de Parfum. It's extremely popular, and this is common information. It's kind of one of those things where it was a victim of its own success. When it first came out and there were few hands on it, it was just going crazy because it was something that was new to the market. Nothing else smelled like it, and so it was killing it out there in the real world. As more people got it, it started to saturate it, and then interest was kind of beginning to get lost. Of course, it's still a great scent. It's still actually one of my favorite designers, but a lot of people do have a problem with the fact that it is popular, and I understand. However, those people who are not into collecting and they're out there just to smell good are going to have no idea that this one here is a thing, and this is a gem of a scent. It brings back that original DNA just without the tobacco, but what it does do is it adds more of a creaminess, and it also bumps up the performance big time. So really there's a trade-off here. The tobacco note is what makes Dolce & Gabbana the one scent that you should have for a date night. But if you really need that extra good performance and you can sacrifice that tobacco note, Royal Night is a nice option. I like to layer the two together. I like to wear this one just in times where maybe it's even more of a close encounter and the tobacco could be a bit too strong, those type of situations. If you have this one, which is a bit harder to get, I would say that you're down the rabbit hole pretty far and definitely a collector. Good on you. Next up, Molecule 2. This one has ambroxan as the main note and the only note. That's what the Molecule line is all about. Taking one aroma chemical, one ingredient, one note, and making that the forefront. Now, most people are going to see this and have no idea what this is, no idea what ambroxan is, no idea why it's just called 2, no idea why these don't come with a cap. There's going to be so much confusion for the non-fragrance collector, but for the people who are into the hobby, we understand. Except for the cap part, I still don't fully get that myself. You pay almost $100 for these and you get a stock bottle with no cap. It's kind of weird, but hey, it works. Now, ambroxan is kind of the magic ingredient in a lot of the popular designer scents that are big-time compliment getters. Now, I've worn this one around before, and my girlfriend loves it every single time. Like, it's just so weird because when you spray it and you smell it, it can be kind of hard to smell. Sometimes it's hard to pick up on. And you may think it's weak, you may think there's nothing to it, but if you wear this on skin and walk around, it leaves a trail and it just pulls in compliments like a crazy amount. It's just so strange, but it works so well, and it's kind of a little magic gem that only us collectors really know about. It's great to layer with other fragrances, it's great to wear on its own. This stuff works like magic. Up next, we have a scent that is from a designer brand, a pretty well-known one, but is from just kind of a exclusive line, I suppose. This one is Bronze Tonka from Carolina Herrera. So not too much on this one, but I love this scent. I got this from Fragrance X a while back, and it wasn't cheap. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was kind of to the price where I was like, should I really get this? Because I know You guys aren't going to be all that interested given the price and that there just isn't any hype around it. So I knew it wasn't going to make a whole lot of sense to buy it for the channel. And then I was like, well, do I want to buy it just kind of for myself? I don't know. You know, it's kind of expensive for a Carolina Herrera, but I'm so glad I did. Man, this is good. So you do get the Tonka bean for sure. Nice atomizer on this as well. Nice smooth Tonka bean. But there's this like sweetness, this fruitiness. It's almost like a plum, even though plum I don't believe is listed. It's just like a juicy, fruity balance along with that Tonka bean. And forgive me here, I feel like I'm going to sneeze because I got it in my nose. It's just a very unique combination and quite a bit different than other Tonka bean based fragrances on the market. And for me, I haven't smelled anything else like this one. It's kind of funny, bronze Tonka. This has like a bronzed type of smell and texture to it. I don't know, it's just really quite fascinating and way better than I expected from Carolina Herrera. Again, the price is pretty high, so I was hoping it would be good, and it definitely is. If you can get this one, I would say go for it if you have the money to spend on it and you want something really unique and a nice Tonka bean scent for the cooler weather. If this one is available anywhere, I will link it up down below to make it easy for you to find. Up next, we have Pasha de Cartier Parfum. So this is a great flanker. The original is a bit more of an aromatic fougere style of scent with their own take on it. This still takes bits and pieces from that original, but then adds a sweeter, boozier touch. You get a lot of sandalwood. You get a lot of some sort of liqueur or boozy note in here. Not really a whiskey, more of like a sweeter booziness. It just is wonderful. And this is one where it's not like boozy in the sense where maybe it's a whiskey note and it has a bit of a kind of bright and playfulness. This is boozy in the fact that there is some richness, some depth, some creaminess, a lot of heavy sweetness in here, making it perfect for cooler weather, but also perfect for a gentleman who wants to smell upscale, smell professional. Nothing playful, nothing casual about this one. This is a class act all the way through. So be ready to dress up and wear this one. Or wear it in your pajamas, doesn't really matter. The point is, most people out there aren't going to have any idea that this one is around. Even though Cartier is a huge fashion brand, this one is not going to circulate like a lot of other popular designer scents do, which is good because it's kind of our little secret. Just keep it on the down low. Up next, we have Uomo by Gianfranco Ferre. This one has black pepper, sandalwood. There's some violet in here as well. It's a very pleasant, warm, spicy scent that comes in at a very affordable price. Not pushing it here, not breaking the bank with this one. And also, again, given the price, the quality and everything about it is pretty solid. You got a pretty cool look here just with the presentation. The cap just has a different styling going on. Snaps in, fits in really well. Honestly, a pretty nice package all around. You get a bit of airiness, kind of like a lightness from the violet. You get that black pepper up top, giving it a spicy punch in the opening. You get quite a bit of sandalwood, just making up the base of the scent, just giving it a nice modern, masculine woodiness. It comes across relatively classy as well. Kind of like we were talking about with the Pasha de Cartier, except they're completely different. But in terms of whether it's casual, formal, you know, it does have more of a dressed up, formal type of smell to it, which is pretty nice. Most people are going to have no idea that this one is a thing, and that's pretty cool. You can pick this one up at a pretty good price and wear it around, evenings out, that sort of thing, and you're going to be the only one smelling like it. Up next, we have Hugo Boss The Scent Private Accord. So Hugo Boss is a big fragrance brand, and a lot of their fragrances are very popular. You know, a lot of people wear them outside of the community for sure. Once you get into the scent line, it dwindles down, and then once you get deeper into some of the flankers like Private Accord, it dwindles down even more. I would say most people are probably still floating around in the Boss Bottled line, so the Boss Bottled EDT, and then the EDP version, Boss Bottled Intense EDP, whatever it is, just kind of those, maybe some of those flankers as well. And then again, it trickles down as you get into this line here. But when it comes to Private Accord, I don't think too many people are going to be rocking this one, but I really enjoy it, especially for the cooler weather. I'm just getting so pumped for fall. This one has a nice manica fruit. It's got coffee. It's got woods. It's it has like a aromatic dusted texture to it. Kind of hard to describe, but there's something in here about this one that just makes it different and unique. And, you know, it makes me excited to smell this because it's something a bit different, and it's from a designer brand, which, you know, has a lot of fragrances, and a lot of them are going to be geared towards the masses. This one is like they threw us a bone. They just kind of said, okay, here you go, fragrance enthusiasts. Take something that's a little bit more unique and exciting, and we'll take it. Up next, another warm spicy, Roberto Cavalli Uomo Deep Desire. I didn't care for this one so much at first. Now I do enjoy it. It's got a lot of a spiciness up top. So very woody as well, woody, spicy, warm. There's something that is very attention grabbing in the opening from this one, and that's why I like it more. You know, at first it just wasn't my thing, but as my taste has changed, like I talked about in the beginning, I've grown to like things that are a bit warmer like this, but also just has a really nice pop in the opening. Something that grabs your attention and gets you ready to go through the life of the scent from the opening to the dry down and see what it's all about. And this one really kind of brings you in. Another one that's great for the cooler weather, man. It's coming up fast, and this one will kind of be a little bit of a hidden gem, whereas collectors may know about it a little bit, but people outside of the community aren't going to have any idea, and you're going to be smelling unique. Up next, Dunhill Icon Elite. This is really good, and this is another one where each time I smell it, I like it more. I liked it okay in the beginning, but now it is nice, and because it's strong, not only in terms of its performance, but more so in that kind of punch in the opening. It is spicy, it is raw, it is woody, like to the extreme right off the bat. This is one that gets you going. There's a bit of like an earthiness in here as well. It's like an earthy woodiness, you know. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not just kind of a soft, creamy sandalwood, and that's about it. Like it's like a strong, spicy, peppery cedar wood. There's, I think, black pepper in here as well. It just has a rugged, masculine feel to it, and it's something that kind of switches it up. Not too much else out there that smells like this one. And I find it to be a lot different than the original Icon, but sometimes I pick up on like a slight sparkling nuance, which reminds me a little bit of the sparkling fizzy type of feel I get from the original Icon. Kind of strange, but it's almost there just a very little bit. Kind of ties back to it, and I think it's really fun, really unique to wear, and just a really exciting scent that most people don't know about. Let's move up to Low to Kenzo. So this has one of the best citrus pop openings that I've smelled from a designer. I would say right now as it sits, like this one and Light Blue Forever by Dolce & Gabbana are a couple of my favorites to smell in the opening because they are so vibrant and so citric. This one's kind of sour, mouth-watering, almost like a sour candy in the opening. Nice sweet citrus, like a sweet grapefruit. It is another one that, like we've been talking about here, has that attention-grabbing pop in the opening that really makes you want to continue smelling it versus just smelling something, it being kind of dull, and then you just writing it off. Even if the dry down isn't as exciting as the opening, it makes you want to come back and spray it again, and that's kind of the appeal behind this one. This is kind of another gem that most people are going to miss out on, and I think a lot of people would enjoy. They just don't really have the desire to go through and look through thousands and thousands of fragrances like we do, so most people will not find this one, but we will, and yeah, I think you should check it out. Up next, we have Extreme Rush by Michael Kors. I can just feel the extreme energy rushing through right now as I announce this one. This is part of their Extreme line, so they have this one, they have Extreme Sky and Extreme Speed, I believe, and I think that's it. Maybe there's one more, I can't remember. I have Extreme Rush and Extreme Sky. Extreme Sky is great. It was the first one I got, and I checked this one out. This one has a bit of woods in here, but primarily it has a lot of an herbal quality, a lot of herbal nuances about this one. I believe cypress is in here along with those, kind of adding to the woodiness. Aromatic, woody, herbal. It's unique, and that's what I like about it. Even though it's a Michael Kors from a top-selling designer brand, you know, in terms of their fragrances, I guess, somewhat, but also just all their other products. But you know, it does strive to be a little bit out of the ordinary, and I think that makes it kind of exciting. So guys, that's gonna do it for me. That is 10 fragrances that prove that you are a fragrance collector. if you own any of these or just kind of a mix of them, it's pretty safe to say that you probably have a decent sized collection built up and you're definitely invested in the hobby. Even if you don't own any of these, it doesn't mean that you're not a collector. I'm sure I'm going to get that comment, oh, I don't own any, but I'm a collector. Of course, but I can only list so many in a top 10 video after all. But it's just kind of a fun idea to show that from these popular brands, there are a lot of scents that most people don't know about, but they own other scents from the brands, like the Dolce & Gabbana, right? They have a bestseller there, but they have no idea Royal Night exists. And I just think that's kind of cool. If you want to grab any of these for yourself, I will link them up down below. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.